I'd like to take this opportunity to thank Dr. Steve McDowell and his team for making it possible for me to make a presentation today. I especially like to thank Divanji, who set it up for a Skype presentation. Millennium old Bharatvarsha, that's the old name of India. Today's India continues to flourish with anomalies, conflicts and constrictions. India survived as an independent composite cultural mosaic of civilization through its meandering and checkered past. India has withstood multiple onslaught of numerous foreign and internal invasions, having serious ideological and religious crises. Continuous external invasion, influx of foreign immigration, interlinguistic human regional movement gave rise to a distinct non-verbal signs and symbolic communication that led to appearance of multi-tongues, while maintaining its basic essence within a broad political boundary sealed by Indian Ocean and Himalayan mountains. The ethos of composite civilization remained unbroken to evolve as a thriving cultural reality. The digital media at present seem to have brought about rapid changes with accelerated pace in India and South Asia. Has digital media penetration, acceptance and adoption influenced political and socio-psychological ripples in the fabric of India is a question that I like to raise. If you think in terms of technological perspective, the birth of the digital media is ascribed to rapid growth and development of information communication technology. It helped to promote Euro-American economic and political dominance in the post-Second World War period. Several social scientists and technologists in India and elsewhere in the world have cautioned about growing socio-economic and political gulf between poor and rich, urban and rural, and media owners and non-owners as a result of digital media penetration in its extensive use. Let's look at the scenario in India. While the process of political governance and democracy remained stable in India, digital media has invaded socio-cultural, political and economic, interpersonal and entertainment spheres of human life. It has been aided by economic liberalization, economic globalization and adoption of free market economy in India. The digital media is all pervasive and continues to rapidly penetrate every passing second. The adverse signs of increased digital media penetration have started showing its ugly face in the form of information technology, high-tech feudalism and digital control in India. After the turn of the 21st century and by 2008 AD, digital media has altered the sources of political information, methods of election campaign, seem to have influenced human participation in individual, household and linguistic groups' social interactions. Today, democratic India is sailing in the digital media boat and started developing, quote, internet for participatory engagement and political conversation, with particular attention to the political blogs and web news sources, social networking systems and peer-to-peer interaction in online setting. That's what we think has happened. I would like to quote Unwin, who postulated that India has digital media is in an autonomous power, is not an autonomous power that can inherently be used for good or bad everywhere, whereby existing structures of political processes cannot be fundamentally changed. There is no simple answer to this. In the context of India, Parmar in 2014 reported use of digital media for political campaigning in parliamentary elections. I conducted 2 studies and I like to bring some information from there. In National Parliamentary Election 2014, among other questions, voters were asked about their use of digital media as a source of political information. In two-phase opinion survey that covered 13,428 and 15,267 voters from all major states of India reported very low reliance on digital media for political decision making. In the first phase, only 1.3%, and in second phase 2.2% voters use internet largely for receiving election related political information. Similarly, the opinion poll survey conducted during Delhi Assembly elections of 2015 indicated that 22% voters used digital media but not for informed political decision making. Only few use digital media for election information. The other parts of the world, especially in the US and Europe, communication scholars have reported significant effects of digital media in elections for informed political decision making. The forecast is that digital media will bring about irreversible socio-cultural, political and economic changes globally. In India, digital media, it seems, in its multiple forms has yet to make a significant socio-cultural, political and economic dent in some specific areas that can be highlighted or debated. There are signs of some new path of human future. However, due to digital media penetration, it seems to have led to increased violence and change in man-woman relationship. I would turn to what happened to digital media future in India. I quote, humans are among the world's most adaptable animals and are unique in having cultural means of adaptation. Digital media rapid penetration has accelerated the process of change much faster than industrial revolution. Due to digital media penetration, there is a continuous interaction by process of osmosis within and between individuals, households and cultures, which may lead to all forms of socio-cultural changes in prevailing social practices without any such past precedents. How digital media would influence human primordial behavior is largely remained in the realm of speculation and hunches in such a short period. There are at least 3 elements that can be postulated in human primordial behavior in which digital media could influence and bring about changes. These are observable reversible changes among individual households and linguistic groups. These reversible and visible changes might occur from time to time, and the digital media may also penetrate and influence the core of primordial behavior to bring about irreversible changes. One of the plausible explanations for such a flux of change is that digital media as a technological innovation remains within the realm of social exhibitionism. For often spreading mindless and ephemeral information with little or no personal or social consequence to bring about any fundamental change in the primordial behavior. Hence, digital media has drawn large number of users without clear understanding and purpose. In the process, digital media has squeezed scarce resources of India and forced to divert social capital of time and money to fall into perpetual digital media dependency. Another dimension of digital media relates to unprecedented transformational effects that have taken place among youth and several million migrant men and women of India living abroad away from their cultural roots. The family structure, institution of marriage, family responsibilities, obligations, and a whole host of interpersonal networks are under severe stress and strain, creating a personal conflict between self and household, self and linguistic group, and between regions with or without digital media. These migrants face the challenge of negotiating other cultures without realizing that their future is in jeopardy. It seems these observable changes are not confined to the individual and is penetrating into the household, linguistic groups, and country as a whole in the irreversible manner. Digital media interaction is no way should be construed to have increased positive human understanding and enhance bonding of family, household, and linguistic regions. These interactions might influence sensitivities of issues of climate change and environmental degradation. The digital media may also influence anti-social, criminal tendencies and destructive outlook of the life, like criminal tendencies including terrorism and experimentation with sex. Also, digital media are being perceived to influence socio-psychological dissonance among individuals, households, and linguistic groups that may lead to social anomy and promote new forms of crime. For the first time in human history, digital media has facilitated uninhibited, unchecked public presentation of normal, abnormal, and obnoxious sexual behavior in most pervert and dubious ways in India and elsewhere. Serious questions are being raised by psychologists, sociologists, and anthropologists whether such digital media viewing would promote sexual violence and sex experimentation of human life in India and elsewhere. Mobile phones help create reciprocal and congenial symmetrical communication between migrant husband and the left behind wives in family and public discourse. Digital media seems to have invaded human privacy and freedom apart from professional and technical life. Further questions have been raised based on limited but divergent conclusion. Can digital media contribute for peaceful coexistence to create a just world? And can digital media influence democratic governance and institutions? Such analysis will help arrest the negative consequences of indiscriminate use of digital media from human devastation within a multilingual, multi-religious, and multi-layered composite civilization of India. Thank you.